Hello, my name is Casey Purnell, and the topic of my speech is Living in a Divided United States. The purpose of this speech is to encourage us to be able to learn how to listen to one another and to accept the differences that we do have. Let's start by looking at the four things that this speech will cover. One, it will cover our inability to listen to one another. Two, we'll look at our inability to accept the differences that we have. Three, we'll look at a simple principle that we can use to begin to listen to one another. And then also we'll talk about the differences that we have and what we can do to begin to accept those differences. So let's start with the first, our inability to listen. Everyone wants to be heard. Everyone wants to be right. Everyone wants to get their point across. The problem is that no one wants to listen to the other person. It's all about I'm right and you're wrong. And this seems to be the society that we live in today, from our leadership on down to our everyday conversation. This creates a problem. The second part to that is our inability to accept each other's differences. When we look at the differences that we have, there are many, but do they really have to divide us? We look at our differences in terms of our religious beliefs. Are you Catholic? Are you Protestant? Are you Jewish? Are you Muslim? We look at our race. Are you black? Are you white? Are you Asian? Are you whatever? We look at sexual orientation. We look at our politics. Are you Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal? All of these different things cause divides. But do they have to? So now that brings me to my third point, which is how do we begin to listen to one another? There's a verse in the Bible that talks about being slow to speak, quick to listen, and slow to get angry. Slow to speak means that I don't have to have the right answer. I don't have to have the quick answer. I can be wrong in my statement, or I can simply just listen to what you're saying. Which brings me to the next point of that verse, which means be quick to listen. Notice the emphasis there. It went from slow to speak to quick to listen. That means I need to be quick in my response to stop and hear what someone is saying. Stop so that I can understand what they're saying. Then the next thing it brings me to is be slow to get angry. Because we're not being heard, or feel we're not being heard, or because no one has stopped to accept what we've said, people get angry. This also is a problem. But we don't have to get angry. The key is, as the verse says, be slow to get angry, be quick to listen, and be slow to speak. My last point is this, learning how to accept each other's differences. If we can put the principles that I just previously discussed into practice, then our differences won't be as different as we think they are. They won't be such a huge factor. We won't be stuck on, oh well, you're Jewish, I'm Catholic. You're Protestant. I can't listen to you. We won't be stuck on that if we can put in the principles that I previously mentioned and begin to accept the differences. Realize that we are different. Realize that the person next to us is not always going to do the same thing that we do. The person next to us is not always going to understand things the way that we do. But the simple point is to begin to understand one another and to begin to realize that we are different and accept those differences for what they are. And to be able to realize that the one key thing that makes us the same is the fact that we are all human beings who want to be heard, who want to be understood, and who want to be loved. So in this speech, we've looked at four important things. We've looked at one, our inability to listen, two, our inability to understand one another or accept each other's differences. Two, we've looked at how to begin to listen. And four, we've looked at how to begin to accept each other's differences. With that in mind, it's important that we remember that it is okay to disagree.